Hey guys, it's the girl Sofineee. Welcome back to my channel. So as you can read from the title, we have a different kind of video that we will be doing today. So many of you may not know, but I will let you guys know now, clearly, that I was in graduate school for occupational therapy. I graduated this past May 2022. And so yeah, automatically after graduation, it was go time, it was study time for me to prepare myself to take these boards so that I can pass and become a licensed and registered occupational therapist. So if you are interested in my study tips and tricks and actually what did I do the first time versus the second time of taking the test and what I did differently, what I would recommend, just continue watching. Alright, so as I previously mentioned, I graduated in May. So after May, I decided I was gonna take some kind of time before studying because I said, okay, my plan was graduate in May, test by July, and I've been done. Like the rest of my summer, I would have enjoyed. I would have relaxed, carefree. And then eventually I would look for the job search. I'm not in a rush for job search, but just at least have that part down was my goal. So they recommend about 8 weeks, so that's why I said, okay, I finish in May. I would do all of June, and maybe like the last week of July is when I was going to take the exam, and that is what I did. So for studying, preparing myself, I had three things. I have my books here that I'm going to show you. The first one that I used was this. You can screenshot it, but I use this book. It's the Occupational Therapy Examination Review Guide, 4th edition. I know there is a 5th edition. I realized 5th edition after I bought the 4th edition, but it's fine. They do the same thing. It's about 3 practice tests with the they give the reasonings, they give where you can find the answer in the different textbooks. So literally, oh look, as you can see, this was me. So I took all the numbers, wrote my answers, but I was incorrect. I highlighted and put the correct answer, and that is just how I did. I made sure I remembered whether the answer was right or wrong. I always read the reasoning, so I understood I got this right because, or I got this wrong because, and then so on and so forth. So this I bought with my own money. The second thing that I bought was the NBCOT flashcards. I'll put a picture of it on the side. But yeah, that also helped. I didn't really go through all of it, but how many was there? There were about 500 terms. I probably only got up to like 200. Didn't do the whole thing. It was about $15. So you can do that as well, and that was really easy. Instead of it was all on my laptop or on my phone, but I'm more of a tangible. I'm really old school, so I write everything down. I have to read everything. It has to be tangible in my hand. So I actually bought index cards and made all my flashcards so that whether I was traveling somewhere or I just was sitting somewhere and I didn't want to be on my phone, I could just take out the cards and then have them here, flip them, and then have the answers. Fortunately, I threw those out. As soon as the test was over, I threw them out. I was like, I don't want to see this anymore. But I still have it on my laptop. I have on my account with NBCOT. So I still have those, just not the physical. I was fortunate enough, my school purchased this book for us. Yeah, and it comes with, this is also another one, Therapy Ed. Very dense book, very, very, very dense. It has all the topics. It has reasonings, it has practice questions, it has CST questions, and multiple choice. That's what I forgot to mention. This only has multiple choice, no CST questions. This has both, and they're simulated. So it's like when you go online and you take the practice exam, you sit for the whole 4 hours, give you the questions, they give you the time limit, and then afterwards they give you the score. They give you a breakdown of what you worked, what you did well on, what you need to improve on, if it was critical thinking skills, if it was evaluation skills, if it was, they just break everything down for you. And I remember I went through all practice. Like, so this has 4, and this has 3, so 7 exams before I sat for my first time. And yeah, let me get into that one next. So sitting for the exam the first time, it was in July. I don't remember the exact date. I have it on my calendar. I could look up and get it, but I don't feel like it. But it was in July. I remember going to the center. I'm religious, so I prayed before I went in. I sat down. I made sure that you have to remove all your jewelry. You have to remove, if you decide to wear a mask when you go into this facility, you have to stay with the mask on. Have to go through a screening. You have to go through a metal detector, make sure that you have anything on you, emptying all your pockets, making sure your hood is shook, like the whole nine. Like they try to make sure that there's no way that you can be cheating for this exam. So during the exam, I sat down. My first mistake was the fact that I drank a lot of water the day before. I like water, so that's all I drink, honestly. I made sure I don't even buy any juice, because I know if I see the juice, I'm gonna want to drink the juice. So I just buy water. I just drink water, and that's it. That was the first flaw. That was the first mistake. I got up about 3 times to use the bathroom because of all the water that I drank. And I drank water that morning as well. That was number 1. Number 2, I did not eat breakfast. My breakfast consisted of a smoothie, which was like fruits and an oatmeal. So I put fruits, oatmeal, milk, and I think maybe a yogurt in there as well. Blend that up. I had that with me, drank that, and then I went to take my exam. The exam was 4 hours long. Within an hour and a half into the exam, I was already hungry again. So fortunate for me, I brought a snack, and you are able to leave, have a snack, have some water, but you have no access to your phone, no access to your like any study materials, any of that. Just your food, your water, and that's it. Or medication if you need to. So I went, had my snack, came back, and mind you, this whole time the time is still running. We still have the 4 hours for you to finish the exam. I finished the exam maybe within 5 minutes. But then with that day, I know for sure, as soon as I finished that last question, I was like, because even then it was about 15 minutes before my time was up, and I had about maybe 30 questions left that I didn't answer. So I did this thing where I took even before I took the exam, I already said if I don't have enough time and I run out, every answer for every question after would be C. So literally I went, when it was last 15 minutes left, I put C for all the last 30 questions. And then once I did all of that, if I had extra time, I went back and reviewed and tried to change the answer as needed. So if it was C already and I thought, okay, that makes sense, boom. But if I read the question and read the answer choices and it was a different answer, I changed it. That was another tip. So after the first sit down of taking an exam, I felt it in my gut. After I walked out of that place, I was like, I didn't pass. I knew it in my gut. I knew that I didn't do as best as I could because of the circumstances, because I got up all too many times to use the bathroom, because I didn't eat. I was hungry. I couldn't focus on the exam because I was so hungry. I was like, okay, let me try to get through this question. I'm gonna try to go get something to eat. Even then, when I was eating, I had to rush and scoff everything down so I can come back and finish the exam. So my things that I take away from this is that, 1, make sure you have a good breakfast, a full breakfast, because traveling time and then exact time, the 4 hours, you're gonna get hungry. You're gonna need something to like rejuvenate or give you some energy, or because you will get tired, you will get mentally drained, you will get exhausted because you're just sitting there, you thinking, probably even tired, that you didn't get enough sleep, or you're fatigued because of everything that you've been doing so far up until that exam date. So definitely having a good breakfast, good night's sleep the night before. That was another thing. I got to get to that. So the night before my exam, I went to work. I got off work at 11 p.m. Had to wake up at 6 a.m. the next morning. I don't know what may possess me. Like, I spoke to my dad. He said, are you gonna go to work? I was like, yeah, because I feel like if I stay home, I'm gonna be overthinking. I'm gonna try to cram or try to do whatever. I'm just not gonna be in the right mind. So I'd rather go to work, keep myself busy, and then not wake up the next morning. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stayed home. So that's the next thing. If you were working during school, or you're taking a break or whatnot, if you are going to take the exam, I suggest, if you work early in the morning, but have that evening to wind down, to relax, and just mentally prepare yourself for the next day that's gonna come. That was my other downfall. So it was not eating enough, going to work the night before, so I'm not well rested. I was very tired. I drank a lot of water, minimize amount of water the day before, because it could take some time to go through your body, so you're not peeing as much. And yeah, so as for content, I feel like these books, both of the books and the flashcards, was sufficient enough. Like, I knew the content, but I feel like because of the circumstances of me not getting enough sleep, being hungry, my mind is everywhere else, my anxiety is kicking in because I'm not focused, that is what caused me to not pass the first time. I will tell you guys, the first time I got a score of 434. I got a score of 434 on the first time. And yeah, like I said, when I walked out that first time, I said, I know I didn't pass. I knew it. I felt it in my gut. So I was like, okay, let me just mentally prepare myself and push on forward and do things way differently the second time. I waited a week for my results, so the anxiety was kicking in. It is suggested to try to take the exam 3 days before the score is released. So if you are able to, I suggest that, because that anxiety is real. So if your exam is to be done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if the score release is to be on Thursday, you should take the exam by Monday. Yes, that makes sense. So yeah, if the score is released on Thursday, try to take the exam on Monday. So 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, around that time, because it takes 48 hours for it to be processed. So when the day came and I got my score 434 first time, I was very disappointed. But I just mentally prepared myself. Okay, I know what to do now. I know what to do better moving forward. And I literally planned that same day, planned for 3 weeks later for me to take the exam the second time. Because you have to wait 4 weeks before you can take the exam a second or third time. But because I already waited a week after taking my exam for my score, a week had already passed, so I was able to schedule it, but being able to actually sit for it 4 weeks later, and that's what I did. I waited 3 weeks. I did the same thing. I took over the practice test. Another thing that helps me, yes, for the second time, I did the same things, but I also took the OT Dude NBCOT course. Yes, that's what it's called. I'll link it down below as well. Put that there, or I can also have it highlighted here. But yes, I used his course. I went through about 3/4 of it, because I wasn't able to do all of it within the 3 weeks, because it was very dense. As he gave a lot of information, a lot of examples, practice quizzes. Like, that was also very beneficial for me as well. So like, even though like I knew the content, it was more so of a way for me to brushing up, keeping everything up here fresh, so that when I need to recall anything, I was able to. Oh, and I also forgot to say, I was also listening to podcasts, the OT exam prepper. He had a lot of, I think his name was Miles, very helpful. I used that the first time and the second time. The first time was more so to learn the content, and for the second time, I would just listen to it over, just to review and make sure that I remember everything that was spoken about. It wasn't as many episodes, but they're still really helpful. Like, he gives us a lot of mnemonics and different ways to remember different things for different conditions, or different treatment plans, or how to the spectrum of different things. You can listen to OT exam prepper, and that was a good way to help. The OT dude also had a podcast. It was verbal quizzes. So he would ask a question, give you some space, give you some time, and then you would have to answer it out loud. And he would also say the answer as well. So that was another way to help me review and just keep my mind fresh on the different things that was going on for the exam. So the night before my second attempt for the exam, I did go to work. However, I got off work at 5 p.m. that day. So I came home, I had dinner, I took a shower. I just relaxed. I decompressed. I didn't watch any videos. I didn't open up any books. I didn't do any flashcards. I did nothing that night before. I make sure I was relaxed. I prayed. I did some reading, reading like something that was not OT related. I was reading, what was I reading? At that moment, I was reading The Four Agreements by Miguel, what's his last name? The Four Agreements. I was reading that book. And that was just something to get my mind off, for me to relax and get in, just to center myself, be more present, and just not stress or have too much anxiety about what's gonna happen literally the next day. So that's what I did. Decompress. If you don't if you really feel like you have to do some kind of studying or reviewing, probably doing something like flashcards. But opening a whole textbook and reading again, I feel like just give you that night before to relax and just decompress. Don't overthink. You got this. You went this far before, so you're gonna make it. Okay, so the day of the exam. The day of the exam, I made sure the night before I took off all my jewelry. I made sure I wore leggings with no pockets. I made sure I had a sweater, but that didn't have a hood. I wore a mask. Like, I did everything that I knew that I was not supposed to do the first time. I did the opposite. So that just doing those things alone made my anxiety a lot less. I wasn't as stressed because I knew I just was able to walk in. If I need to go to the bathroom, there were no pockets for them to check. There were no little jewelry for me to remove. There was nothing else. I literally just walked through the metal detector, put my hands up, showed that I have nothing else on my body because I just wore a t-shirt and leggings. Have no pockets. There's nothing to put anything in there, so I just walked right in. Less time for them to check you in and have to do it, because all of that time is taken out of your test taking time. That's the first thing. And then I made sure I had a bigger breakfast. I had eggs, bacon on whole wheat bread, and then I brought a yogurt for me to have just in case I needed to have snack, which I didn't take. I didn't take a lunch break this time. I made sure I used my entire 4 hours for the second attempt. Something else that I did was at the top of my scrap paper, I wrote Sofineee Cherry OTR/L. Like, I made sure, like, I put that there. That's gonna that when I walk out of there, that's what I'm gonna have after my name. I'm going to have those letters after my name after today, and that's what I put in my mind. I said that because versus the other time I walked out, I said, I know I didn't pass. I had no motivation. I was like, I'm gonna have to do this again anyway. The second time, I said, no, I am passing the exam. I'm gonna overcome, and that is it. And then what was the next thing I do? I took off my shoes. So I can be more grounded. I had a lot of anxiety, so I was like, okay, I need to find a way for me to be more grounded, for me to feel more present. So that's what I did. I took off my shoes. I would wiggle my toes when I needed to feel like some kind of, I don't know, arousal, like some kind of, like, pinch me, like some kind of feeling. So I wiggle my toes and taking off my shoes. So things like that really helps me during the exam to make me feel a lot more comfortable and to relax. When it came to different questions that I couldn't find an answer to, my answer is C. And I would mark and flag it for me to come back to it. So afterwards, if I had extra time, I would go back to it. And then I also wrote the amount of questions that I feel like I needed to review if I had extra time. And compared to the first time that I took the exam, I had a lot less. And that just also made me feel a lot more better because I knew that I wasn't overthinking things. Most of the time when it comes to those kind of questions, your first thought, your initial thought, that's the right answer. If you think about it too much and you read the question and you try to go too deep, try to change it, most likely you're gonna get it wrong. So go with your first gut, go with your first instinct, go with the first answer. Don't overthink it. Just go right ahead with that. Unfortunately, for the second time, I had to wait a week again for my results because I couldn't find a test taking site that released that administered the test at least 3 or 4 days before the score release time. So I waited that week, and during that week, I was a lot less anxious. I knew, like, I felt good, but it was still like, unless I actually see that score on the day that they're supposed to give it, I'm not gonna feel at ease, and I wasn't. And even I don't know if you guys can see my little board there. I have written on that. You're not gonna see it because it's too far, but it has Sofineee Cherry OTR/L. I want to have my L. I want to have as many letters as possible. It might be immature, but so what? I paid my money for grad school, so I'm gonna get those extra letters regardless. So yeah, I'm gonna get my letters. And so when I opened up NBCOT on the day of the score release, I received a 475. So it was a big jump. I came from 434 to a 475. I was like, as long as it's above a 450, I don't care. A pass is a pass. I don't care. I wasn't planning on getting a 600. As long as it's above 450. If I got a 451, I would have been fine. That's it. That's all I care about. So as long as I pass, that was it. And I'm very transparent. I can say my score. I say my grades, whatever. It doesn't matter. I passed. I'm an OT. And I'm coming to a clinic, a hospital, a school near you, a home. Bro, occupational therapy, occupational therapists are so diverse. We can work in so many different places, and I feel like that's one reason why I got into this, because our brain, we get so creative, we think of different things, and the fact that we can find a way to apply our daily occupations into anything that we do, or any spectrum of the life, any, like, literally anyone and anywhere we can receive occupational therapy services, and I'm really grateful for that. So that's why I said, okay, when it comes to like the job search, I'm not in a rush. I don't have to like, I'm not like, oh, like I don't have like a scarcity mindset, because I know that we are needed, and I will find a job when I'm ready and when the times come. So yeah. Okay, so guys, I know this video is a lot different. I'm normally over on my channel talking about my logs and my journey, but this was also a part of my journey, my life journey. And so if you guys are interested in also this other part of me, like being an occupational therapist, what I'm going through, where I'm going next, what am I looking for in my jobs, how my day-to-day job is going to be when the time comes, just comment those questions down below, and I'll be grateful. I would love to share you guys on this other part of my life, on this other part of my life that's going on as well, in addition to my hair. But yeah, we'll talk about my hair another day. I'll make another video for my hair, but we're talking about OT right now. But as for OT, yes, if you have any questions on how I got into grad school, what kind of schools was I looking into, what school did I go to? Well, I went to Seton Hall. What schools would I recommend, or what other, or how did I get into the process, my statement letter, like just whole OT grad school, prereqs, literally anything you have about OT, how to get into it, just let me know, and I'll comment down below with you can comment them down below. I can either make a video, or I can just respond to your comment right then and there if you need to. But if it is a lot, I will make another video so that I can just put everything all together, and so that you guys can refer to that. Or if it's just like one or two that people just have questions, I can just comment and respond to them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. I think it will be another hair video. We'll see, depending on what I get in the comments down below, if it will be another OT video. So yeah, just stay forward. I'm trying to also think about getting into skincare. So if you guys all want me to do something about that as well, I'll do that. But I'm just trying to branch out and do different things. So I'm open to doing different things. Maybe doing more vlogging as well. I've done monthly vlogs. I don't do weekly vlogs. If you guys are interested in that, let me know as well. So yeah, just trying to branch out and do different things, so I'm not just this one little niche channel. I can have a whole bunch of things under my belt and speak to a variety of different people all together. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Stay cute and stay